All right, now let's get a bit more perspective on the restructuring of the police. And joining me live from Abuja is a retired military officer and security consultant, Major General Cecil Esekaibe. Thanks for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you, Jama.
All right, let's move on now. I mean, a few days ago, the order was for SARS to collapse under the federal SARS. And now we have a plan to decentralize the police. How do you match these two sets of reforms?
Well, it's a welcome development. You don't know why we have to overcome the neophobia, the problem of doing the new thing. It is very clear that the structure of the police, as bequeathed to us by the United Kingdom, needs overhauling because they are overburdened, and over-centralizing the system made it easy. It became very difficult for community policing, state policing, as informations are not readily, processed to get the intelligence you need, and local programs for local solutions. So it's a welcome development for the police to be decentralized. But again, it depends, because they have not given us details, whether it is vertical or horizontal decentralization. By that I mean, if it is on jurisdiction basis, where you have different organizations like the one for criminal investigation, for traffic department, and so on and so forth. Or it's inter-levels, like local government, state, and the federal structure. So when we get the details of the decentralization, we'll be able to know where we're heading to. But my concern there is, I don't know why the IG will head it, because the IG should have actually been the main resource person for such an effort.
Well, I know you did say we don't have the details, and indeed the IG is heading that committee to come up with a structure for this decentralization. But do you think that state policing should make the list of recommendations? I know that has been something that many people have been calling for. So do you think that's going to come on board at this time, since there's now an agreement that we do need to decentralize the police force?
It should be. It is not the SARS organization that is a problem. It's the processes, the organizational structure, and the modus operandi of the operations. So SARS as an entity shouldn't be a problem, but if it is well manned and the operational definitions are clear and their mandate are also very specific, there shouldn't be a problem like SARS. But like you said, it's going to be holistic.
Well, my initial question to you was, having the SARS in the state collapse to the federal, and now we see the police being decentralized. So my initial question, which I don't know whether you got, was how we're going to match those two sets of reforms, whether we're looking at a total overhaul, or what the plan is. The
SARS in the states are also big control at the center. So that is the nexus of the whole thing. Whether they are in states or not, they are big control at the headquarters. That is why there need to be decentralization. So if they are state police and they want to operate the way SARS is operating at the federal level, it's different. Well, let's look at what it's supposed to do and what they are doing now.
Okay, let's go to another aspect. Coordination among security agencies is another major issue. Each time we analyze security, we hear, there are overlapping functions and security agencies need to work together. So is there a plan in that for this new structuring,
Certainly. Interagency cooperation is actually the panacea for an effective performance. And it's been lacking in many instances where security agencies are competing for attentions and the needed cooperations are not there. So interagency cooperation is going to be key in this new process.
Yes, but the how of that has always been the issue. I mean, if you look at the current UN reports talking about terrorism, another aspect of our security that we need to do something about, that report identifies ways in which it makes it a bit easy for terrorists to infiltrate, like Boko Haram, etc., because of our cash economy. So we keep saying we need to do it, we need to do it. Now that we're at the point where we need recommendations, what do you recommend by way of a framework for reforms?
The issue of cash-driven terrorism is not new. That's what happens all over the world where terrorism holds sway. What I recommend here is that there should be a central coordinated system that will coordinate the intelligence gathering of the agencies. They'll centrally process them so that there will be no diversionary tactics. For instance, if the various security agencies are under a central organ like the National Security Advisor, for instance, if it's to coordinate the various security agencies and their intelligence gathering, then we'll have a central cell where these informations can be processed, and you have a very solid product for decision making.
All right, then how vital do you think this is, in terms of addressing the security concerns in the country, seeing that the elections are coming, and we do hear that the police is overstretched, we hear the army is overstretched. How quickly can we see this restructuring happen?
Well, they have just come out, and I expect a blueprint to come out as quickly as possible, and the committee actually set up to get into operation. It should not be a problem if the political will is there. I mean, within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we should be able to come out with processes and, the procedures on how to get it going.
All right, retired military officer and security consultant, Major General Cecil Esekaigbe, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us on the News at 10 tonight.